Okay, I think we're on. Video's on, audio's on, music's on. It's Friday morning, January the 30th, 7 degrees here in Hampstead, Maryland, 7 degrees. I gotta admit, I'm looking forward to some double-digit temperatures. We've got 2 deliveries today. They're both in the van. They're sitting quietly. Happy little passengers. Everything good. Our light went out. You know, the light that I have on the dash, I was telling Bob this morning. We've been getting this light on the dash that talks about tire pressure, but it's sporadic and it has nothing to do with it's the tire pressure system, not the actual tires. So, but it's not on today, so I think it's going to fix itself. You know how sometimes that just happens? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. All right, we got some warm air. Van's warmed up.
Listener 207 says we are at 0 degrees with it feels like -5.
Oof. 0 degrees. I got 7 degrees here, so quite a bit warmer. I don't like it. You know what I did this morning? I checked the weather like, you know, each morning. So I looked at it, and when it came up, it said 20, like current temperature 23 degrees or something like that. I'm like, wow, that sounds great. It wasn't Reisterstown, Maryland. It was another location. I guess I had looked at that. I looked for some other location yesterday at some point, and that's what it remembered. So I got all excited because I thought it was 20-some degrees. I mean, imagine that. But yeah, 0 is not good. Well, what's the wind chill? Because, you know, they always talk about the wind chill. Oh, and on the way up, so on this route to the first delivery, I'm basically going back the same way I came up to get to the bakery. So this morning, and I'll point it out, it's not too far down this roadway. There was something in the middle of the road that had apparently been hit, but it was still sort of there, scared the heck out of me. I'm like riding along, and there was traffic coming down the other way, so I didn't have my high beams on. So all of a sudden I see this thing in the middle of the road, like, but I don't know what it was. It wasn't too big. I don't think it was a deer. I mean, maybe a fox. I don't know. Pretty sure it wasn't a person. But it did scare me. I'm like, what the heck? Because something was very close to the lane. Like it. Yeah, thank you for stopping. That was very kind. I was up late last night again. I don't know, I gotta stop this. I started listening to the book Atomic Habits. I read it once years ago, and I really liked it. I remember that I liked it. So yesterday, I think I even mentioned it while we were on the ride yesterday that I was gonna listen to that book again. So I started yesterday, and I do like it. Atomic Habits is the name of the book, and It's kind of cool. But one thing that and it actually just kind of reminds me, there are certain things that they talk about in there that I think I've always kind of done, but reminded me yesterday that one of the ideas that he pushes is, instead of, like, if you want a habit to stick, you have to move from wanting to do something to seeing yourself as a person who does that thing. You know what I mean? So if you, instead of saying, I want to go to the gym because you want to get in shape, right? You change your outlook on it and you say, I want to be a person, or not I want, you take the word want out of it and you say, I am a person who goes to the gym. And like start thinking about yourself that way. Like, don't move from wanting something to being that something, you know, and look at it differently. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. So last night, I was thinking about this morning. Last night, I think I had another dream. Although, whether it was a dream or not is questionable. But in this dream, I woke up. I was kind of sort of out of it. But I went in and I looked at the computer, and John was doing a live stream. But I think he was in some kind of space pod. I think it was like an alien. I think maybe aliens had abducted him and he was in sort of this space pod thing. Blue lights in the background and stuff. And he was talking about his mic, his microphone. Oh, and I have something to say about the microphone too. But, so he was testing out this microphone, and it was a very weird dream. But it was a good live stream. I actually put a link to it in my description of this video. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, you go to the description of this video, there's a link. I think it says something about Starlink, using Starlink, blah, 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 blah. But it says on there something like mic test, and then I put the link. So you'll know what I mean, because when you look, he's actually in the van. It's his command center. But yeah, I woke up, I had fallen asleep earlier, and I woke up and I was like, I think I hear... No, it wasn't that. I was hearing something in the computer because I had left the computer on. And I went, you know, so anyway, I go back into the computer room and then I see that he's doing a live. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's driving again. Well, he wasn't driving. He was doing this microphone test. And which turned out pretty well. It wasn't exactly what he wanted, but it turned out pretty well. But my information on the mic today, I don't know if you were here yesterday, on yesterday's episode, I was saying that the microphone magnet was very weak. Like, I was putting it on my shirt, but it just didn't feel like the magnet was as strong as it should be. It was holding. I mean, it held the whole time, but it just, I think I even asked, do magnets lose their strength over time? I still didn't look that up. But after I took the mic off, after the live stream was over yesterday, I realized I was like attaching the magnet to the wrong side of the microphone. So the magnet is actually strong enough. It's a very strong magnet. It really is. That's why I was surprised yesterday. I was like, what's going on? It shouldn't be this weak. Well, it's because I was attaching it to the opposite side of the microphone. I'm surprised it even worked that way. Like it must be like, I guess you flip the battery or you flip the magnet over. But anyway, so no worries. My microphone magnet is just as strong as ever. You just have to put it on properly. Oh, wait a minute. The tire pressure thing is blinking now. Ah, goodness. Yep, it stopped. No, now it's blinking again. Fortunately, we have 4 new tires, so I'm not really worried about tires at all. All right, this animal that is in the road is not too far from here. And I'm thinking that it was in the road to a point where I think it would be like blocking. Here it is. Is this it? Right. No. Hold on. Keep an eye out. I can't use my high beams. There it is. See that thing in the road? Oh, it is a deer. Did you see it? Maybe you didn't. It was hard to see, but it was there. Anyway, actually most of it is in the other lane. Maybe somebody hit it and it swung it over to the other side because it seemed like more of that deer. It was a deer, by the way. It was recognizable. Now, this is Baltimore County. Okay, Carroll County picks up their deer pretty quickly. Baltimore County is a little bit slower on the pickup, but the fact that it's in the middle of the lane, I think it's going to cause demolished. That's probably what's going to happen. There's going to be some big truck that comes up here, 18-wheeler, and it'll be all over. Okay, enough about that. So I didn't go back to bed until like 11. I think it was close to 11, almost 11:30. Like, I got to get up in 3 hours, but I had napped enough. I really want to get to the point where I have one solid piece of sleep, but the napping seems to be working, so it's all good. Still waking up, feeling pretty good. We've got another 4 or 5 days of this insanely cold weather to deal with in Maryland. I'm glad it's not 0 degrees. That are bad enough, but if you get to 0 or negative, and it has gotten there in Maryland before, but luckily not this time. And then it looked like as the calendar kind of worked its way across the 10-day forecast, it went from, we're in the like teens and 20. That's what we are for the next few days. And then we go back, then we go up a little bit so that we almost get to freezing. We get to 32 degrees. I think for like 4 or 5 days, so the low will be like in the 20s, maybe in the high teens, but during the day it'll get closer to freezing. But then a couple days after that, it was going back down into the teens and the 20s. So I don't know. We're not out of the woods yet, but you know, January is almost over. January is almost over, so we really only have one more month to deal with. And this month went by really fast. I don't.
207 says next week we're going to the high of 29, which will feel like a tropical heat wave.
It will. No, it definitely will. I mean, that's how I felt this morning. I can't properly describe how happy I was when I looked at the temperature. And I'm like, 23. I think it said 23, like current temperature. And I'm like, my head was saying, no, it can't be 23 degrees. But my heart was saying, yay, it's 23 degrees. And then my brain said, look at your location. It's not Reisterstown. And then my heart said, you crushed me. You crushed me. It was like an emotional roller coaster for me this morning. But you're right, 29 degrees is going to feel really good. Isn't that's kind of crazy? See, I don't even think, though, that much of this snow is going to melt. I guess it'll melt a little bit. If we get close to freezing and it's sunny, it might melt. A little, not a lot. The one good thing about the really low temperature is that you don't get, like now, for the next few days and the past few days, it hasn't been that kind of snow melting and then the road sort of stays wet and you get that really gross, dirty snow, and you're constantly using your windshield wiper fluid to clean off the window. Like, we haven't had that because it's so cold it's not melting. So there's that. That's a good thing. I wonder what people, like back in the old days when you didn't have really reliable forecasts. I think way back when you didn't have forecasts at all. I wonder what people thought. Do you think they were like, my God, will it ever get warm again? Like, they have no idea. At least we know. They probably knew. People probably just said, hey, no, it'll get warm again eventually. But they probably didn't know exactly when or why. They probably just grunted out whatever, like the caveman type days. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, so it got really cold, it snowed, they were really uncomfortable. And all they could do was go, ooh, 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 ooh. But that probably meant something to them. scheme of things, that wasn't really that long ago. Both of my deliveries today are normal size. Like I would say, yeah, both places I would say are pretty normal. So I guess people are coming back. Anybody that was snowed in. Is back. Another thing that they talked about in Atomic Habits, the book I'm reading, or the book I'm listening to. You know, do you think it's right to say you're reading the book if you bought it on Audible? Like, your instinct is to say, oh yeah, I'm reading this book, but you're not really reading it. You're listening to it. So I feel like when I say, yeah, I'm reading this book, I'm kind of cheating. I'm not really reading. Anyway, the book that I'm listening to, Atomic Habits. One of the things they were talking about yesterday too was the fact that so much of your brain energy is used for your sight. Like your sight is like a major power drain in your brain. It's like where most of your effort, a lot of your effort goes. So, which kind of makes sense to me because I'm a very visual person. Like I need to see stuff. I have a pretty good imagination, but like I like to see it. And my best example of that is, ever since I was little, of like my workout routine going and, you know, keep it staying relatively fit, is that, it's going to sound really stupid, all right, so I understand if you think this is going to sound dumb, but I have a calendar on my wall and I put stars on it. Like I have those little, you know, like the kids have in school with teachers put like, oh, you get a gold star today, Johnny. Like that kind of thing. I have that. And, well, I don't have a teacher, but I have the calendar of the stars. So, a different star, and that I've had this, seriously, I started doing this like when I was 12, 13 years old, something like that. Because I needed to see it. It like makes me feel like I'm more responsible. You know what I mean? It's like in my face. So, as an example, I probably should put something out on this. I think this could be helpful for people. I really do. Um, but here's what I do. So I have a calendar, and for any day that I walk 20,000 steps, which is almost every day, and I know that's a lot, but I do walk on the treadmill a lot. So any day that I walk 20,000 steps or more, I get a silver star, right? So that's like a baseline, silver star. Any day that I work out, like do my, with free weights, and I've got a certain workout, I have to do a certain amount. I can't just like go down and lift a dumbbell and say, all right, I worked out. So I have that's all. I have a certain workout routine. If I do a workout, a free weight workout, I get a blue star. And it's blue because when I was younger, I was a member of, but I also worked at a place called Nautilus Fitness. And I don't know if anybody remembers that. I don't think they're still, I mean, I know Nautilus Fitness is not around, but it was called Nautilus equipment. And it was the way the machine was designed. It almost looked like a shell, I guess, so that the resistance would stay the same. And anyway, so Nautilus, it was water, so working out to me was blue. So blue star is if I do a free weight workout. And a red star is if I do, like, I don't do a full workout, but like if I do a certain number of push-ups during the day, or a certain number of pull-ups, or a certain number of sit-ups. And that can vary. Like I set it month by month. Usually it stays about the same, but if I see that I need to do a little more, then I'll increase it. Like as an example, right now sit-ups would be 300. So if I did 300 sit-ups during the course of a day, I get a red star. Or if I do, I forget what it is, 50 or 60 push-ups, it just means I did something, right? So I get a red star for that. And then, what else do I have? Then I have a gold star, a green star. A green star is like if I do something in the yard or out, like some kind of, like if I cut the grass, or if I got a green star for shoveling snow. I really should have gotten like 2 green stars for shoveling snow, because this past week it was crazy. But so that means I did something that was physical, but maybe it wasn't like an official exercise or workout. So that's a green star. And then there's a gold star. A gold star is if I walk 50,000 steps, which I only do that maybe 10 times a year, something like that. I have to be on the treadmill for like almost 10 hours to do that, I think. 8 or 10 hours. So on and off throughout the day, but 50,000 steps, or 5 times one of my red. I'd have to do 1,500 sit-ups during the course of a day to get a gold star, or 250 push-ups if my number's 50, that kind of thing. And I put the stars on this calendar, so like it's hanging on my wall, and I know, like, am I doing anything or am I doing nothing, and how much am I doing? That's it. That's my routine right there. All right, let me go. We are at our first location, Lenny's Deli. We believe there could be a Prius under that pile of snow. We're not sure. One of the white cars is back, but it's parked in a different spot. The Prius is gone. All right, what are we doing? I'm gonna leave the car. I'm gonna leave the car. I'm gonna leave the van on. Head in there. Let's see if they're in there. Yesterday we looked out. It's like right here. Deli guy. I don't see the deli guy. Boom, boom, boom. There is somebody there. Come on, come on. There he is. It's Glenn. Glenn is in there. Looks like he grabbed a mop. A spill on aisle 2. Spill on aisle 2. Glenn, what's going on? Happy Friday.
Yeah, it is.
A little chilly. You know, I've never watched one of my films to see if you can hear me back here. What'd you do? Did you spill something? You're that excited about the job this morning, huh?
Yeah. Couldn't control myself.
What do we got in the lottery? Mega Millions, 303 million. Sorry, that's not enough for me to buy a ticket. Ever think you'd say something like that? 304 million, that's not enough. Gotta be closer to $1 billion. All right, here we go. Actually, you know what I could do? I could flip this camera. I don't know if you can see me or not. I don't want to take the camera out. There we go. You can kind of see. Oh, it's cold. All right. Some donuts. I normally have this tray down next to the van, but the sidewalk still has snow all over it. So I'm leaving it up there. Danish? Danish, anyone? If that rack rolls away, it's going to be very embarrassing and won't be good. Chocolate top cookies. Or if I fall down in the ice. That would be good. That'd be a good clip. Here's the kicker, man. We don't want to lose this tray. These cakes are expensive. And the eclairs. Perfect. All right, I'll be back. Oh no, I'll be back. See, I'm used to saying that, but you're still with me. Okay, my hands are getting too cold now. What happened to that Prius out there? You know, there used to be a Prius in there. It was there forever.
Oh, did money's car?
No, I don't know. It used to be right there, like to the left when you walk out the door.
Wasn't my turn to watch it.
No. You got a glazed donut in here. Somebody asked for that special.
Okay.
No.
Somebody said.
Huh?
What, that one?
That one, yeah. Somebody's. That was written on the order said.
Weird, but that's like your basic donut.
I know. I know.
They don't have to $4. Our basic donut.
Yeah, there's not. I know. All right, well, have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Stay warm. They had on the order I noticed this morning. Somebody asked specifically for a glazed donut. They don't get a lot of donuts. And usually they just say, you know, anything, some sorted variety. We're back. Okay, let's flip you back. Boom. Usually they just say, you know, 3 donuts, 4 donuts. They get very few. But today it said 4 donuts, 1 glazed.
PC says hello, all. How many drop-offs have happened already?
This is it. This is the first one. First of 2. We just finished. Okay. Yeah. I think I like not turning the van off, but yeah, we just finished Lenny's. So now we're on our way to What a Day. What a Day. I remember today's Friday. Yesterday we went down to Gourmet Girls. Wednesday. Monday was off. So I guess I did drive this way on Wednesday, right? I think I did. Trying to remember what the road was like. This is probably about the same. I haven't seen any improvement really since Tuesday, Wednesday. But the roads are not too bad here right
PC
now.
says anyone walking in the middle of the road this morning.
Not yet. Oh yeah, remember that? That was crazy.
Listener 207 says I like your idea of the stars in your calendar vibe.
Yeah, I think I want to put something together because I've done that. I've done that my entire life, and it's worked. I mean, now I say that there were probably periods in my life where I slacked off and didn't do it, but yeah, I have calendars from when I was. I don't have all of the calendars, but I have a couple from way back when.
207 says I'm a visual person as well, and I think it's great to have something to look over and see. However, will never be doing 1,500 sit-ups.
I haven't done. I don't think I've ever done 1,500. I've never gotten a gold star for sit-ups. I did get a gold star for sit-ups, like when my gold star level was like 100. I think it was 100. Yeah, I remember when it took 100 sit-ups to get a gold star. I did get it once because I ended up doing 500 one day. But I just like, I mean, because if you're looking at the calendar and you've completely slacked off, I absolutely never let myself completely slack off because the calendar looks, there's nothing there. It's so obvious. It's like in your face when you get up in the morning. See, like there's no lane. You really don't have two lanes here, which we should have. But I think they've just decided that that's going to be the way it is until the weather melts it. We're holding steady at 7 degrees today. Sometimes when we leave Hampstead and we come down, this is considered Owings Mills, Maryland. So when we get down here, it's sometimes a couple degrees warmer, but we didn't get that today. We're still 7. Look at that. That worked out quite nice. The tire warning thing is on again. I will have to tell Bob that. I think Bob said, now Bob, and he's one of the owners of the bakery, he said that his truck, which is also a Dodge Ram product, was giving him the same message about the tire system. It's strange. They would both do it at the same time. His truck's, I think his truck is newer than this. This is like a 2020, I think. The van is a 2020. I think his truck is newer than that. Oh, you know what I wonder? I wonder if that box, the boxes that sit on the side of the road that contain the speed cameras. I wasn't even thinking about that. Normally I slow down to 30 miles an hour exactly. We might have been going 35, but I don't think it'll give you a ticket for 35. That would be bad. I don't think they would like that if that showed up in the mail at the bakery. as long as where they sing. I'm just afraid there's more chance that that could have a copyright applied to it at some point in the future. Oh yeah, I do remember doing this. We did do this on Wednesday. We went this way. Because it gets a little dicey when we get to the end of this road. Gets a little dicey and maybe a little icy. Give that truck the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe they weren't high beams, maybe not. They're still bright.
Cat.cs2 says, good morning, happy Friday all.
Good morning.
I've named the subway dude as Mr. Slash. So if you see him again, say hey what's up Slash.
Is that what you're saying? Or Flash. It should be Flash, right? Is that what you're saying? I didn't see the typed version. The subway guy. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Man, these guys are flying over that hill. He almost went airborne. All right, here we go. Did anybody watch John's evening stream yesterday? I woke up.
Cat.cs2 says no, he was talking about the knife and twisting it, Mr. Slash.
Oh, the Slash guy. Yeah, yeah. That's right. So we got Slash and we've got Flash. Flash is the guy who freaked out because I took his picture. I never realized it's sort of a rhyme. I should be able to write a rap song about that because I've got a slash and I've got a flash.
Team C says hope you are doing well at justacat.cs2. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning. It's cold out here.
Justacat.cs2 says hey there. Good morning. Happy to see ya. At Team C I'm still a little woozy. Not fully awake yet.
Not me either. No, I am. I'm fully awake.
JusticeCat.cs2 says, good morning Amphibianet. How are you at McKinsey?
This is such a loud bridge. I think the microphone might make that a little bit better, but that's still got to be loud. That is the loudest bridge. I'm going to write a letter to Maryland. Insist that they smooth that bridge out because it's not good for my live streams.
Says, do you prefer driving in the morning when it is still a bit dark outside, or do you like the time change and more morning light?
I don't mind if it's dark out. I prefer driving okay, but I like it a little bit better when the sun's coming up. Like if the sun was coming up now, or I think what I'm doing in the summertime, I started doing this last August, I think.
Dash Mark Bordeaux says, good morning, just checking in.
Good morning. Good to see you. We're between drop off 1 and 2 at the moment. It's 8 degrees, it's warming up, 8 degrees. Might have to take my jacket off. I mean, I like being up super early, so I realize that's always going to come with some dark time. But I do like it better when the sun's up by 6. I mean, in the summertime, it's actually up before 6, or it's getting
doing
bright.
Well at JusticeCat.cs2. I am off work today, and I plan on going to Harbor Freight. The 30% off coupon gets me every time.
Well, they have good prices even to begin with, yeah. So a coupon there is really good. I'm shocked at how sometimes I look at if I'm looking for a tool or I need something and I compare Home Depot to Harbor Freight. I mean, it's a lot cheaper. A lot. And I realize, I think I always add this to when I say something like that, I realize the quality of some of their stuff might not be quite as good, but I haven't run into any problems with anything I bought from there. And it's insanely less expensive. It's not the name brand stuff a lot of times. They have their own, but anyway, I like it. And I don't know if they're all like this, but the Harbor Freight that I go to, like, it's one of those places where you walk in and the people at the cash register, maybe they're supposed to do it, but they greet everybody that comes in. I mean, they shout it from across the store. It's kind of embarrassing, I guess. Could be. If you were somebody that didn't really want to be noticed. mean, under normal circumstances, I'm usually one of those people that doesn't really like it when they come and follow you around. Like some clothing stores are like that. Uh, the one that comes to mind was Joseph Banks. I don't know if they're all over the country, but Joseph Banks, like that was mainly business clothes. But suits and stuff I would get from there.
Sticat.cs2 says that sounds like Great Friday at Hooking C. Pick me up there 200 power station.
Oh, that sounds, yeah, that would be a good thing to get. I don't have a generator. I've always thought about getting a generator.
Hooking C says they say hello sort of like you or Norman walking into the Cheers bar.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if they're allowed to like do it different ways, you know, like, or that they have a specific thing that they have to say.
Sticat.cs2 says yes. They make me happy.
Like, could somebody walk in and they're like, "Yo, what's up?" Would that be acceptable? I don't know. I'd be all right with it, but I don't know if corporate.
It says Mission Barbecue yells hello as soon as you crack the door to walk in.
Oh, do they?
Hooking C says, are you living off the grid? At Justicat.cs2.
You need to get those solar panels to charge up your batteries. Then you can really be out there. Well, Mission Barbecue, I like the what are they sing the national anthem, right? At noon? Isn't that what I like that. I wake up to the national anthem every day. Every day. So like I have my alarm set for 2:30.
And it says yes at noon every day.
I think that's a good thing. And then right.
Cs2 says no, but I'd like one just in case electricity goes out. I want to see if my Wi-Fi modem will work with it at Hooking C.
Yeah, but you know what happened? I've noticed, like, normally when my electricity goes out, I also get a notice from Xfinity telling me that
never heard of any store doing the national anthem every day.
Yeah, they play it every day at 12 o'clock. Everybody stands up. I wonder if they get the same reaction in all of their stores, though. I have to admit, the only one I've been to.
Says, I think it may actually be a theft protection move. A study showed that a person is less likely to steal something if they get a friendly greeting.
Oh, is that right? So they're doing it, trying to keep you from stealing stuff. There's somebody at the drive-thru, so I bet you they saw me.
JustACat.cs2 says I have the fiber internet now, so I was hoping Wi-Fi will work with a power station.
So you need the Wi-Fi.
JustACat.cs2 says, oh, that makes sense, Mookie MC.
I guess that would work. I always seem to get a notice from Xfinity to let me know that the cable has gone out the same time that my electricity goes out, usually.
At MookieMC says that's a good plan to test out. At JustACat.cs2.
But I figured now I have Starlink as a backup if Xfinity ever goes out. I have to say, though, I mean, I know a lot of people complain about Xfinity or Comcast or whatever you want to call them, but they, during COVID, when I was working from home, they were very, very consistent. Like, I had no issues at all with internet. And that sort of was really important at that point. And even now I don't get issues with them really. Speaking of issues, I gotta call these people because they're not opening the store. Hold on. You may lose audio for a short period of time. I should have. Here we go. What a day. Here we go. You know, they're gonna open the door as soon as I hit this button, but here we go. There they are. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Look, now you're bringing it out here and everything. Pretty soon you're going to load it up all by yourself.
I'll probably wait till fall to try it out.
All right. I don't know why these smell so good to me today. Donuts are just, they're taunting me. Oh. 6 big cinnamon buns. Oh my God. Going in. We're going in. Oh, Janet, there's one bag of dog treats. One bag of dog treats. On the shelf. Don't see any in here. Good morning. Oh, a few trains.
that you tested. Let us know how it goes at justicat.cs2.
Whoops.
Justicat.cs2 says sure will at Mukim C.
Boop, 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 boop. Oh, must have had a little. We must have stopped right on the spot of ice there.
Mukim C says which is faster internet speed, Comcast or Starlink.
Comcast is a little. I don't know exactly what it means, but I mean you can definitely. I think you can get faster speeds with Comcast. I think, but there's also like the Wi-Fi on, and I just recently, like within the past year and a half, I got a new Wi-Fi router that is like, and I don't know what this means. I just know that there's like a little number 6 next to my Wi-Fi. You know, like when you see the Wi-Fi thing on your computer or on the phone, there's like a little 6 next to my Wi-Fi thing. If I'm home and if I'm connected to Starlink, it's a 5. So whatever that means, I think Comcast or my router at home, and that's probably not Comcast as much as it is the wireless router that I have, I think. So that I don't know that that's really a speed thing, but it's as technical as I get. It's a 6 versus a 5. And I presume that 6 is a little bit more powerful than a 5. Somebody's going to watch this live stream.
Mark Berto says internet is faster. You can measure the speed of your internet connection on a few websites.
Yeah, that's true. You're connected, you know, that way is a little bit faster than Starlink, I think. And there are different levels to Starlink. Like what I'm using in the van is called the Starlink Mini, which is considerably, I mean, when you look at the surface space of what it's, you know, it's considerably smaller than the standard Starlink. Your roof. So there's a, you know, as your residential connection. The Mini is kind of meant to be able to throw it in the car and go camping, or I don't think a lot of people use it. I mean, truck drivers do, I think. But there aren't a whole lot of people that use it just driving around. I don't see it. I've never seen anybody drive by with it on their roof of their car. Although you can have it in your car if you mount it to the sunroof, supposedly. I think I'm going to try that out. So if you get the suction cups, like right now, it's just attached.
He says I see a lot of people who do van travel or van living using it now.
Yeah, I think a lot of them, they set it up like when they get out and they camp somewhere, right? I don't know if they're using it a lot when they're driving. Truck drivers do, though.
Masticat.cs2 says router is the word I was looking for. I called it modem for some reason.
Well, sometimes they package them together. Modem and the router. I had to buy a new modem recently, like within the past 3 months. I think it was back in December. November or December. Oh no, I think it was November because like I had a very expensive November. I was like, my modem stopped working, so I had to replace my modem. I think November was when I decided to buy my Starlink. I was like spending all this money, and I'm like, I'm not making any money now, so what am I doing? But it all worked out. Something else happened too. My Starlink, my modem, there was a third thing I had to spend money on that I didn't like. Stuff happens. I think the modem broke because of something to do with a transformer. I heard it happened twice in our neighborhood. Both times my electricity went out, but I heard like this bang, like an explosion noise, and our street was completely, blacked out. It was some kind of transformer exploded. Couldn't have been too far from where I live because I heard it. It was definitely a loud explosion. So that happened once, and the electricity was out for a very short period of time, like 3 hours or 4 hours or something. It came back on, my router was fine, my modem was fine. And then, like with a week later, it was weird. Like a week later, the same thing happened, like the same kind of noise, electricity went out. That time it was off overnight, I think into the next morning. So it was off for a longer period of time. And then when it came back on, my modem wasn't working anymore. So I thought, oh, well, maybe Comcast isn't back. But after checking all that out, I realized it was not Comcast. It was my modem. And then I went over we have a store in Towson called Micro Center, I think is the name of it.
King C says John has lost a bit of conspiracy theory cred by embracing Starlink, but at least he still has Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. He does tend to lean toward the conspiracy theory sometimes. With a realistic twist. Like I've heard him talk about AI and not AI so much as algorithms, like the algorithms that YouTube and all the social media applications use. And I don't feel quite so strongly that it's like there's any conscious plan behind it. I do think it's very bad because it does put people it does put people in their own bubble, right? Like once you, and it's obvious. I mean, they're not trying to hide it. It's obvious. If you click on something, you get a lot more of that, whatever it is, and pretty much right away. Like I mentioned the other day that I clicked on, I saw some, and it was just a weird thing. I saw some guy that had like tattoos all over his head and his face and stuff. And I'm like, what the heck is that? So I made the mistake. I should have known better, but I clicked on it. It was a short, and it was some guy that like has tried to change himself into an alien. Literally. I'm like, he's trying to make himself look like an alien. So he's tattooed his entire head. I think I presume probably his whole body. And he didn't have any ears. Like he just had holes sticking out of his head. I mean, he went full blown, I'm an alien. He was like, it was crazy. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay. Well, next thing you know, I'm getting all these suggestions to look at this video and that video, and it's people with tattoos, it's all kinds of weird things. It would be people that didn't have any arms and legs. I mean, it was crazy. It was just like, I don't want to see this anymore. But they kept showing it to me until I stopped. I mean, I didn't click on it anymore. And eventually it kind of fades away. But yeah, whatever you click on, you're going to see a ton of it. And that's what, I mean, I don't think they're doing that to purposely split people.
I should have made that video private.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I might differ from John a little bit in my opinion on that is I don't think they're consciously trying to separate people and create any chaos between people. It's just happening because that's what the marketing people, I mean, that's what they're putting in front of you. They want your eyes, right? Their whole goal is to make you look at their stuff. So they want to give you whatever they think you're going to look at. What the hell? I got this guy behind me that's got the brightest lights in the world. Like I think he's driving the sun. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going to happen. If you look at something, that's what you're going to get. I always say, this is my new thing about, if I was younger, if I was like in a dating stage of my life where I was like going to go out, date people and stuff, I would try to get you're out on a date, you're having a good time, you go back to their place. I would ask them to sign on to YouTube, and then I'd see what their recommended videos were. That would tell you more about that person than you could learn by chatting for a week. Of course, I say that, and if somebody had come and looked at my YouTube channel a week ago, you would have seen all these freaky
Team C says that is why I
tattoos.
view anything like that in a private window. Maybe I will not be tracked so much and have targeted ads.
Oh, yeah. Do you think does that work? If you're in a private window, do you find that you don't get videos that match a certain theme? I never thought about that. That might work. There's a browser out there called, what's it called? Duck? Something to do with it. There's a duck on it, right? Is it called duck? Quack? Something, I don't know what it's called. I remember seeing a duck though. And that one is supposedly not tracking all the stuff that Google and all the other places track. But you know, that's how people get in their silos, you know. You just see what your ideas just continuously get reinforced.
Cat.cs2 says I'll try that incognito window next time. I go to YouTube history and delete that one weird thing I clicked on.
Yeah, you could probably clear your, you know, like the tech support people would always say, clear your cache, clear your history. I think we run out of a lane up here. Maybe not.
PC says yes. I don't get cookies and things in my browser, no offense. You are probably talking about the search engine called DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, that's it. DuckDuckGo. I knew there was a duck. There was a duck involved. I did have a technical person. One of the companies I worked with, I had a technical person tell me that that's what I should use. That was like 5-6 years ago. They told me that. I never did it though. It's too easy. That's the problem. Like, they set it up so that everything is so easy. I mean, it's amazing. Like when even if you're just typing in the search field, or you start typing a web address, it's amazing how it knows what your next few words are going to be. Even in situations where you wouldn't expect it. There's a whatever this is behind me. I don't know if it's a car or a truck, but its headlights are so bright it's a little annoying. And I don't even have a rear window. Just looking through the mirrors. Is there a shadow on the wall over there on the side of the road? You shouldn't be seeing my shadow. The car behind me is so bright that I have a shadow.
Cat.cs2.
Well, I don't need to do that because basically my rearview mirror looks back into the van, and there's no window in the back of the van, so that took a while to get used to. I was always looking up at that mirror, and it's basically just looking at that metal cabinet that's behind me.
Cat.cs2 says ooh.
The light on the right-hand side, though, doesn't look as bright as... I bet you they're probably riding with their high beams on because the low beam headlight on the driver's side is out. Yeah, I think that's what it is, because now they pulled back a little bit so I can see both of their lights. And one is bright, one's normal.
PC says web search engines that can read your mind. Sounds like a good Real Thoughts Project episode idea.
That would be a good idea, because it's real. That, and the other thing that drives me crazy is, and I find it most common, it's most common in weather websites, like weather.com, or I use Weather Underground, but I don't know why weather websites, this stands out to me the most.
Cat.cs2 says yes.
But they always know what you've been shopping for. So like if you go out online and you're looking for a t-shirt, the next time you check the weather, there's going to be a t-shirt ad on the top of the weather, or going down the right-hand side of the screen. No matter what you're looking for. I'm still getting cars. Like I started looking for a car after I hit my deer, and I still have cars. They should have a way for you to like just say, look, I already got it. I'm done. I bought my t-shirt. I don't need to see anymore. Stop selling me t-shirts. Friday.
Cat.cs2 says nice sunrise. Looks like a country album cover.
Yeah, it is. It's the Craycray country album. Riding through the hay bales. Or hay cylinders, as I've once called them. I couldn't think of the word bale, so I'm like, those round things, the round hay things, whatever they are.
Cat.cs2 says lol. Cat.cs2 says cylinder hay bales. @UKimC says I have heard people say they have not searched for something online but mentioned something to a friend on the phone or when their phone was around. They think they are being listened to.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I'm not sure I believe that, but it depends. Like I purposely don't have Alexa in my house. I really don't want something in my house that is listening to me all the time. Like
Cat.cs2 says that always happens to me.
I think if you have something like that, I could see that happening. And it probably, maybe your phone does that, right? Like my phone, if I say, hey, Google, my phone knows, it'll open up the little window and then I can ask it a question anytime I want. So I'm saying that I don't want something in my house that's listening to me, but my phone is listening to me. So, yeah, I think that probably could be true. I haven't personally had that happen, though. I haven't had something happen where I've talked about it and it shows up on, so it would probably be a dog-related thing since I'm at home. I'm most lately talking to my dog. Like all it's going to really hear me saying at home is like, "Hey, Jay, you want to go outside? You need to go outside? Are you hungry? It's time to eat. You want to tell me, Rob?" So then I sign on to Google and it's all like utensils things you could use to give a good tummy rub. Could be interesting. If that happens,
YouTube says at justacat.cs2 guess what turned up first, lol.
I feel bad for these cows. Oh, all right. Here's a good one. It's my temperature gauge on the van says 1 degree right now. It is usually colder along this route because we're kind of like low. 1 degree. Check this out, people. You see that? I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to hold it still. It's on the left-hand side, lower left-hand side of that little box.
CS2 says hi, good morning at Richie YouTube. At Richie YouTube says HII.
Oh, look, if you put 2 eyes in there, she doesn't say hi, she says HII.
QC says howdy at Richie YouTube.
Richie.
Dash Markford says the old folks love the brighter lights getting stronger headlight bubbles put in. At Richie YouTube says at justacat.cs2 one of my 4 Amazon items turned up. What one do you think it is? Mike webcam onesie or unicorn? At Richie YouTube says.
What did you do? You said question mark. She doesn't even know what a question mark is. Does my connection still freeze like right here? I think you can't hear me right here, but maybe you can. Today's Friday.
Justacat.cs2 says what? Richie.
What? All right, folks.
Says what one do you think turned up? Have a guess, lol.
Well, we don't know what you ordered. How do we know which? How are we going to be able to guess what showed up if we don't know what you ordered? Or did you tell us what you ordered? Did I miss that? I'm going to say that the item that you cared the least about getting, that's what I'm going to say.
Justacat.cs2 says IDK. Mike. YouTube says cold.
Cold? Is that what showed up? All right, folks. We've made it back to the bakery. Wow, look at that. I didn't know I was going to be able to. Boop, boop. Another day, another journey.
Says 3 more guesses.
All right, Richie, you're gonna have to tell us because I gotta go back in the bakery. Gotta start my day. Richie, are you gonna tell us?
Team C says the original halogen headlight bulbs in my car are weak. I want LEDs now, but there are too many choices.
Yeah, you want to get the ones that are blue.
YouTube says at justacat.cs2 unicorn blow up suit lol.
All right, guys. Well, Richie, you're gonna have to put it in the comments after the video closes because I gotta I gotta get in the bakery. I gotta get going, man. There's stuff for me to do in there. So our journey, Friday's journey, has ended. But I'll be back tomorrow, 5:15. I think I'm gonna put my schedule, my normal schedule. It does fluctuate occasionally, but I might put my normal schedule like on that little banner that's across my page. So you can kind of see, well, is he going to be on today? I try to put...
YouTube says okokoke. At Mukim C says thanks for taking us along for the ride, Craig. Take care, everyone.
All right, Mookie. Have a good day. Maybe I'll see you later in John's live stream.
Justacat.cs2 says have a good day all. Happy Friday. Tism.
Tism. What is that? Tism. Tism. Some things she tries to pronounce and sometimes she doesn't. Anyway, all right, guys. Have a great day. Stay warm out there. And I will...
Listener 207 says enjoy your day.
All right, you too, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.